in Tanzania to have good food, you know.
This is so good for the phase one.
Next year will be more.
So what do you think about the program?
I think for this program, not just the food and everything, but I think it's like an activity in which that comprises a lot of different elements. So like from all the some of the submissions that I've seen, yeah, like you said, I think some of the younger ones, right? They you know, even with the delivery of the video, they have some effort to edit and everything to make it clear, to make it like, you know, really like a how do you put it, culinary demo kind of video, which I think during this period, you know, COVID, over this like coming now 2 years, is very popular, you know, all the YouTube stuff and everything, you know, even people doing like different you know, challenges or different stuff with cooking, right? Because a lot of people have time at home. Yeah, so I think apart from just the message of you know, stop food wastage, and you know, it's not just the flashy expensive food that, you know, is cool, right? I think this has also been something that has given people the opportunity to, you know, even like do other things with their submission, that is like video editing and all this kind of stuff, and you know, learning along the way. Yeah, learning something new along the way.
It's very good. And I hope there'll be more advertisements so that next year we can have more participants. And I also think social media is important to make people aware of what we are doing.
Okay, so for me, I feel that after looking at their submission, right, there's a lot of passion in it, which I don't know lah. Maybe now I'm more into that charity side of my career. I don't feel so much for being in the kitchen anymore, because I feel I'm more into agriculture now lah. You know, since like 14 years old lah, you get what I mean? Then seeing the trend up, down, left, right, then going into media, then do the celebrity chef thing, then you know, I don't know. For me, I'm a kampong boy. I really feel like I'm brought up from the street, hawkers and this and that. Then there's something in me that wants to go back to that lah. So after watching all their videos, I feel that I don't know if I totally agree with Enoch because the effort that they put into editing makes me feel so embarrassed about mine lah. why one potato like that, then like I look at them, then they like, wow, chicken lah, this and that. Then I'm like, hey Melvin, you you reflect yourself a bit, you know. So for me, I saw the fun in it, which was what I was very hungry for, I think. You know, at this moment in my career, it's like I want to go back to why I love my career so much, why I love the craft so much. You know, it's about bringing people together and this and that. So recently, Eileen, I don't know if I can share. I think I can share. You sent me some photos of like, you know, your trips and this and that, and there are doctors joining you. You know, I was thinking, right, like on a bigger scale, instead of just the KOL, my calling now is, okay, mass scale, how can we bring this entire group of people with the passion, okay, go to somewhere where nobody will think that you can actually cook, right? And I'm at that stage where I've done my charity dinner lah. We sold out the thing. We raised a lot of funds for the old folks home. And I would say that that's my calling, and I feel that I'm experienced in that side. So if let's say we can go there, even the doctors are doing charity work, right? They are also angels in disguise that need to be taken care of because they will be very tired also, you know, giving patients, you know, taking care of them and this and that. They also human, they also need to eat. So if let's say us now riding on this passion of all these new cooks, aspiring chefs, and we can all get them to cook for a good cause, I think that will bring them up to the next level of seeing and feeling how culinary is not just cooking food. It's not just I look good with a glass of wine. I chase for the next top 40 restaurant in Singapore. You know, it's more than that. It's more like why our pioneer veteran chefs I call them my papa chefs, my mentors, brought food to the next level. So now with our experience, our generation, our passion, how can we bring it to the next level? Like Enoch said, there's COVID now, 2 years already. 2 years changes a lot of things. It's the new norm, guys. You know, sometimes your restaurant really just cannot work one. I get a lot of calls. People ask me, hey Mel, pay for me, then get more business. No, dude, honestly, your rental is too high. How we change how the food comes in, it is all from the same supplier, right? If you get from further away, it's going to cost you again, which you're going to say no. So we just have to accept the situation. And I think for me, watching all their videos and like, I think I got more inspired than them lah. You know, so I think moving on from this, I also agree that our brand, so-called ROLF lah, the brand needs to be seen more.
Yeah.
Like we should start doing. I honestly don't mind that, like I'm wearing the brand for shoots, for whatever. I'm okay because it's for a good cause. And I'm very, very looking forward to like getting my vaccination and then like I can fly.
So I can appoint you guys as my ambassador because this year we did it like for trial. I do not know how good the response is. So right now I have a little bit of confidence, and also we pick the time that we have COVID, we have Raya holidays, you know, that everybody kalam kabut, especially the students. They are trapped in the hostel, in the apartment. They don't have proper cookware, and then they couldn't do a video because they are professionals now. They want to be there and become a KOL, you know. They want to have this kind of things going on, so they want to have everything perfect. So it's a time for us to educate lah. But so far they have done okay. Normally ROLF is very, very much on ground events, right? You know, we focus on ground events because we want to have a human touch. So that's why every year we have different events going on with university students.
Actually, what I feel about this competition is that many of these contestants, some of them they are good cooks. Some of them I don't feel that they really, I mean, they don't know how to cook, but they also do their best to participate. And this is actually a very, it's very consoling that everybody wants to participate in this, whereby it is not about winning something. It's not about, it is about being part of a
movement, bro.
A movement. And moving forward, what I feel that can happen is something like what you said, but it can be much simpler. Like, for example, all those people who participate, they can also opt in to join like a certain class that we teach them how to do business, small business. So with this small business, they can open anywhere, everywhere around the whole country.
Nowadays, the youngsters, you think that something is logical to them, actually they don't do.
Yes.
Because they cannot see. So when they cannot see, you have to create a platform to let them see an outlet. So for example, like I talked to many of them that we do a cooking contest. Most of them couldn't visualize because they can cook, but they are not into this area, never pay attention to cooking. But once they create something, and then they enter, and then they receive all the lights, then they start to come already there. They start to feel like excited, and then they want to do the second one. They want to do the third one. So this is the thing that before we go to that stage, we need to build up this momentum. Yes. Okay, we need to open up outlets. So first of all, I need to target 3 of you, 4 of you, you know, like Aza, you know, Melvin, because like honestly, it's very difficult to get people to share the same passion and vision. You know, once after this contest, we are on the same page. It is easier for us to move on in terms of 2 things that I want to do. It is charity is one thing, but we need to teach them how to fish. Like right now, honestly, if you don't have any much pocket money or much money, the only thing is to start to sell food is the very, very simple. I mean, easier than you go out and do something else, right? So right now, for the short-term one, we need to settle their financial problem because most of them, the parents, okay, we are not talking about the private school. Private school, normally they're okay. Public school, public university, the students are a little bit difficult at this moment because parents, some of them jobless, some of them infected, grad business is not good, so they are stuck. Okay. So right now I will go on to ask 1 or 2 questions. These questions are actually for the youth, just to prep them like a little bit. Now they got some interest into cooking, so there are a few questions they asked me. So and now I'm asking one of you. We start from Kaaza.
Okay.
Okay. So they said, they said, this is the question, they said, we always think that home cooking without proper training can only be a hobby. So can it be turned into a gig job that we can start taking orders and sell? But what are the basic things we should look at before we even start taking orders? Some of them, they are not ready, but they think they can. But after that, they receive order, they kalam kabut, you know. So what are the few things that they need, at least basic things that they need to look into?
Number one, you have to make sure your product is good product. Be it like sambal tumis, you know, it has to be good. And don't be greedy, like first, like you say, 10 orders, and then the next day, like you say, 30 orders. No. If you say that you take 10 orders a day, you do that until you are confident enough to make sure the product, the standard of the product stays as it is. Once you are confident enough, then you can take more orders. Because people want home cooked food now, you know. You can go out to the garage and buy, but home cooked food is always the best. So know your product and don't be greedy.
So they have to learn more than nasi lemak, right? Everybody's selling nasi lemak. Okay.
It can be a good source of income, but it has to be a good product.
Okay. So Kak, I think your YouTube channel, the Senduk Kayu, right? What does it mean, Senduk Kayu?
It's a wooden ladder. And you know when you take the wooden ladder and you scoop the gravy, right? Yeah. And I don't really like to use plastic or metal ladder. I like to use wooden spoon. And
me too.
Yeah. So everywhere I stay around the world, I always collect a wooden ladder. So I say, okay, why not name my channel Senduk Kayu, which means wooden ladder. Yeah.
Does it make a difference?
It does actually, because
is it to you or to the food? I mean, the quality of the food, or to your own? There's a sentimental value there, or something.
Sentimental value, because I'm old school. I like to use old stuff. Like those days, our grandmother never used a metal or a silicone ladder. They use a wooden ladder. So I'm old school like that. So I don't really like to change this kind of.
We love you for that, really.
Thank you.
Be old school all the way, man.
Yeah.
Like, don't ever change.
Yeah.
Is there something that you guys use like every time you cook? Is something very close to you that you have to do that? The magic tool.
Oh, you're asking across the board?
Yes, cross.
No, actually, for me, I just want to make sure that it is not plastic, and I don't cook halfway. I left with half a ladle. You know, we cook with high heat, we cook fast, we want to feed people. Yes. You know, and like talking to me, you know, my character in the kitchen is like, you know, it's all fun, it's all food, it's all like get together, you know. Halfway the ladle half, then you like, where did it go? Inside the soup. Yeah, then that's where your goreng pisang very crispy. You know, right?
But I think for chefs, I think like maybe especially for me, I think the thing personal, if you talk about like tools and everything, it probably is the knives.
Knife, bro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, so knives is one thing. I think for every chef is something that is very personal. Everybody would have their own personal set, you know. Yeah. So that is probably, if you talk about tools, yeah. Apart from ladles and everything, is I think probably the knives.
So you know, do you use Japanese or European knives?
Japanese.
Wow.
But now I start to collect Thai what is this, knife smith, like customized knives.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so basically you can choose according to like your, you know, the from all the way from the blade to the handle, all the way to the weight. What is the distribution that you want? And then it's forged by the local knife smiths in Thailand.
So okay, another question for Kak Azza. It's like, I learned that you have almost 16,100 views last month on your Senduk Kayu channel, right? So they need to ask you, can you share some tips of how to attract viewers onto your YouTube? Like how many posts you need to do per week or a day, or how?
We only post one video a week, but I do it. I didn't expect to get this kind of reaction, but for me, I stay true to myself. I cook. I don't use MSG. I don't use artificial coloring. So my viewers are very organic. You see, so it builds as we go. It's been a year. This month it's been a year. So we can see those people who engage with me are those people who really want to learn new stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I will not change. If I have people who approach me to ask me to review the product, and I said, so what kind of stuff you have in your product? So they will come say, I said, I'm so sorry. For me, it's not about money. It's about promoting healthy eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True that,
And
man.
now you're also making some keto food, right?
Yeah, because of Shah's situation. So I'm experimenting on keto diet and things like that. We see the nutritionist and say, okay, Dr. Rajan, what would you suggest? You know, so I just don't bullshit my way through. So you really have to study before you put it on social media, because it's very important that people get the right information. That's I feel that is very important.
Mm. Okay. So the next question will be for Enoch.
Okay.
Okay, so I think I went through most of your interviews. Most of the media are very, very, very interested in your background. And okay, they label you as a rebel chef. So for a person who carries such a strong character, so what makes you go into this line? Is cooking your passion, or at that time you just try to look for a job? Or
Yeah, it was never a passion to
something.
start with. I think I'm very different from most of the chefs that go the route of, you know, I want to go to Shatec, I want to go to, you know, culinary school to study, you know, after my NS or before my NS, you know, because I want to be a chef. For me, it's basically it was never like that. It's more of, you know, just to get a salary, you know, to feed myself, and then to, you know, go and play with my friends and everything, right? At that time. I think it only became a passion because I think also because probably I started too young as entering the professional kitchen too young. So at the time, I didn't know what I wanted to do, but it's just that it was not a passion, but probably more of just like an interest. Honestly, the only reason why I wanted to be a chef is because I felt that if I can cook, I can impress girls by, you know, cooking for them and that kind of stuff, you know. So it's like it really was just that way. But it's more
I
of
work
like,
lah, bro.
most of the time. Yeah. So in the end, how did it become a passion? I think was through all the experience. So I always believe that everything happens for a reason, and everything you know, is a journey. Like I wouldn't be like this today if it wasn't for the things that, you know, mold me, even some that were like not so good, like, you know, prison and everything. But then I feel that everything was still in the end, like what I was looking at myself today now, you know, it still was salvaged. It didn't go to, you know, how do you say, I didn't spiral out of control, because no matter what, there was still always this interest, there was always this eventually when I realized what I wanted to do, right, you know, after a lot of time that I had to reflect, I decided that, okay, I'm going to turn this interest into a passion, and then I got more and more serious into it. Yeah, but if it wasn't for this interest to start with, this small little interest, initially that was just like a brush, you know. So if you talk about like how for me in Singapore when I was running my social enterprise, just the same way as you think, Adeline, is that my job is just to influence people, influence the youth. I plant a seed in them that, you know, get them started, you know, interest in cooking. To be honest, most of them are not interested. Most of them that I get, these are all ex-offenders. They are on their probation period in Singapore. They wear a tag. They have to go home by 8 p.m., 9 p.m. So they find a job so that they can get out of the house more often, you see. Yeah. And they are not interested in cooking or doing anything. But for me, I feel that my job is not to, you know, force it on them. My job is more of to give them a fun environment, give them a so-called conducive environment to actually start this interest, you see. So no matter what, honestly, the always with all these kind of cases, right, the re-offending rate is probably about 90%, to be honest. So a lot of them, whether it's drugs, whether it's, you know, whatever vices that they do, the re-offending rate is most of the time is 90%, or even just because Singapore is very, very strict. So even just breaching their probation, after work, they don't go home, they go out, you know, with their friends, and then, you know, they get caught, you know, not following the curfew time and everything. They also have to go back for another 6 months. You know, it's considered re-offense. So, but a lot of them, even after they re-offend, when they come out, they realize that, okay, at least, you know, during that time I had a short stint with this restaurant. I worked with Chef Enoch before, and then, you know, I feel that, okay, what I'll do is I'll go back to cooking again. which is exactly what I did. I mean, if initially when I worked, I never worked in the fancy places or the places that can give me a good resume. I work in like 自插端 and everything, But from even working at 自插端, it made me feel that, okay, at least I know how to cook, I know how to cut vegetables. This is at least the very minimal skill that I have. So the same way we talk about the university students, I think it's the same thing. Is that, for us, it's giving them an experience, because like, everything, regardless, big, small, all the experiences we have in life is what, molds us and shape us to become the person we are. Yeah. So I think this is the thing, for my own, that applied for my own life, and also applied for will apply for most of the youth. Yeah. Is that lah? Is that. And the other thing, I don't think I have anything that is so special about me, that I'm a fighter or anything. I also get scared a lot of the times. It's just that always when I have a center, right, when there's a center which is this passion for cooking, it always brings me back, even though regardless of all the challenges I face. Yeah.
Okay, I think you have answered part of the question that I'm going to ask you, but I need to read out this question because it's posted by the audience, the students that have heard your radio interview that day.
Yeah.
So this is a question that I need to do him a favor. He said,
Sure.
Do you think cooking is a promising career? Because hospitality industry is like a big ocean.
Yes.
Many of us who have passion for cooking and want to start a career, but most of us do not have a clue of the market trend and the consumer preference. So where should we start? Should we go get hired and work for somebody first? Or should we start our own small business first? Which one do you advise?
Okay, this one is exactly what I mean, this is very personal. So it, like for me now, right, I started and then I went to when I got serious about cooking, right, eventually, for me at that time, I believed in going into the Michelin star restaurants and all these kind of thing to go and work there and to learn and everything, which I don't think is wrong. I mean, it instilled a lot of discipline, work ethic in me because of the level of detail, and everything, and because they're operating at a very high level. To Michelin star, that kind of restaurant is totally different. But if I were to think back today, as an entrepreneur, more of as an entrepreneur now, and less of a chef, I would say that it is important to have a basic foundation. It is important to have a basic foundation, but at the same time, not to. I mean, especially during this very fast moving, what you call that, market, or this very fast moving industry now, the trends and everything is really, really very quick. So not to spend too much time being like so-called like a soldier, you see, because in that kind of what I used to think last time, and this is what my mentors, right, taught me. This was the trend of the past. So you talk about people like now, okay, Melvin also will know a few, like Eric Teo and all these people, right? They spend like 15-20 years in the hotels and all this kind of stuff. Of course, out of the 100 of them, there's probably 10 of them who become successful executive chefs, and everything. So if you talk about promising career, but this is the baby boomers generation trend, you know what I'm saying? Now, if we're talking about the younger trend, which is our generation trend, a lot of them end up getting disappointed, you see. And also because nowadays, I would say if I answer somebody of my age, right, they would like to hear my answer more than what probably the baby boomers generation chefs tell them. Because ultimately is that, if you want to come out to start a business, if you call it a promising career, working for yourself, I would say don't spend so much time. You need to have the basic foundation, at least 2 to 3 years, or maybe 4 years. You need to have the basic foundation and also learn many departments of the business, not just being a chef, not just cooking. You need to learn, a bit about, depending on what kind of restaurant you want to open, maybe a bit about coffee, a bit about wine, a bit about things like that. So that you can become somebody who is, has a higher or has a wider knowledge. Yeah. But compared to before, it's no more like, so much of especially after COVID, right? we realized that it's not it's a super huge market. It's like an ocean, like what you said, but it's no more a 铁饭碗, you know what I'm saying? It has actually become quite a brutal industry compared to before. So before, it's like my mom encouraged me to become a chef, you know, to go and learn how to cook. Is because everybody think that if you can sell food, you know, which to a certain extent is true.
Everybody
true.
needs to eat.
Yeah, everybody needs to eat. But then the thing about being a chef now, you need to evolve also. It's no more that I always have to go to a hotel to find a job. Then what about now when all the hotels cannot hire you because there's no tourism, there's, you know, hospitality industry is dead. So what I would say now is that things are very different, especially after COVID, the new normal and everything. It's no more about, you know, I just go to a culinary school, I finish, and then I try to get the best internship. I try to work with, you know, the best chefs, which is important if you want to climb up the ladder of being an employee. However, once you step onto this road, I would say that, you know, you will always be, you know, being an employee. It'll be very hard for you to come out and do your own business or even small business or home-based business, you know. So if the person wants to be a promising career, meaning being an entrepreneur, being, you know, somebody who works for himself, you know, does his own business and stuff like that, it is important to learn the basic fundamental. However, also it's very important to learn other soft skills and other things along the way which you cannot gain in the kitchen. To be honest, in the kitchen, we learn a lot of hard skills, but we are very deprived of soft skills because we spend a lot of time doing the same repetitive thing. We have one menu, we do and perfect the thing so that it becomes like a system, you see. Yeah, but a lot of chefs, we don't go out often enough, so we lose out. This is what I realized during my career when I decided to transition from employee to, you know, opening my own store, was that I lost out a lot in a lot of stuff. I didn't have a lot of soft skills. I couldn't speak, you know, like I speak now. I couldn't present a lot of things. I was just a soldier, you see, especially working in Michelin star restaurants. Everybody does one job every day because it has to be so perfect. It's the level of detail is so high, right? If you do this for the whole year, you know, it's just like a sushi chef, you see. They wash the rice, you know, they do this, you know, and that's all we have, you know. So I think what I had to adjust was that I had to go and work in a so-called less prestigious restaurant just to learn things that are more realistic, you know, because in the Michelin star restaurant, like what we talk about this whole thing, you know, what I explained also during the interview is I think when you talk about Michelin star restaurant, it's all about high class, very expensive ingredients, and it's all about wastage. Food wastage is like 70%. We order something, we order in is 1 kg, we only use 300 grams because it has to be perfect shape, it has to be everything all nice, you know. Yeah, cannot have any blemish on this and on that, you know. Yeah, so wastage is very high. So when I came out to start a business, I had to learn, which is what we're doing now, how to find something that is low cost, something that is homemade, something that is handmade, yet tastes good, you know, and I can sell for a good profit, a reasonable profit. Yeah. So I think to answer that question, to summarize everything, is that it is definitely important to learn the ropes and the basic foundation. But I think during this generation, if you want to survive in the F&B industry, it's no more just being a master of your craft. You have to also learn other soft skills of, like, you know, how to connect with people and all these kind of things. And of course, it always benefits if you become a personality that is very interesting, that people start to pick up, you know. So media will come and look for you and all this kind of stuff, which actually really in this era, you really need this kind of stuff. It's no more the very brick and mortar era when you just open a shop and people will start to come, you know. Because nowadays you have so much technology and all this kind of stuff, social media and all these kind of things. So if you are not up to trend with all this kind of stuff, you lose out as well. I think that is mainly, even in Malaysia, in Singapore, mainly why a lot of young people come out thinking that they want to become an F&B entrepreneur. I open a cafe, I open a restaurant, you know, I open a store, but they get disappointed, they get chewed up and spit out by the industry, and they get disappointed and they feel that, you know, and probably the person who's asking this question feels that same way, maybe has own personal experience or some friends who have experienced before. I would say it's because they think that it's just because I can have a concept that is special, and then I have this product ABC that I believe the taste and everything will come true. But ultimately, when something, you know, hits, you face certain hurdles, when you don't have the right mindset or don't have the right soft skills to actually tackle this problem, then, you know, you get left behind. And really in F&B is, once you get left behind, you know, you don't have to you might as well just close the business, yeah, altogether. Yeah, so I think that is the thing about now. Yeah, now is different from back then. Back then, my mentor chefs always like to say this thing is that work hard, just work hard, put your head down, work hard, and the money will come and look for you. Yeah, but unfortunately today trends change so fast. The money doesn't look for you.
Yes.
You have to look for the money. You have to look for where which is the trend that the money is in. Yeah, yeah. What it is called now is that in the past, people they, let's say, big investors, big businessmen, they invest in the assets. Assets as in a lot of like physical assets and all this kind of thing. In the past, it isn't so much of or they invest in systems and all this kind of thing. But now is the era of you look at all the unicorns and all these companies and all this. Now is the era of people investing in the talent.
Yes.
So it's always whoever is the founder, whoever is the owner of this business, is what makes the difference. Whether to the customer, whether to the your business partners, to your associates and whatever thing. The talent is the one that is important. If you have somebody who is only like a one-trick pony and then is very stiff, who only knows how to do this menu like what you said, right? Then it's very difficult to survive in this F&B industry now because things are moving too fast. And everybody is well traveled. All the young people, they have YouTube, they have social media, they know everything that is going on everywhere. You see, I may have never been to Turkey before, but I know what kind of food Turkey serves because I see videos on online and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. So that is the thing. I think is about turning yourself into a talent, turning yourself into like a brand that is can attract your customers. Yeah. So I think summarizing is no more just being that you have the hard skills of being a chef, and just focus on the hard skills of being a chef, but you must also have the soft skills of becoming a people person, becoming somebody who people see as a talent. Whether it's you want to get investment from others, whether you want to get a partnership, or whether you want to just attract customers, right? Yeah, that is the thing that is important to have a promising career in the F&B now.
The personality of the chef is very important.
Yeah.
If I trust you all, everything is good.
Yeah,
Which is very true.
exactly. It's true. It's really true, because I think if you talk about from the business sense, yes, that is very true, because if you have a good personality, right, you are able to attract a good team as well. Ultimately, cooking is never a one-man show. Cooking will always be a team. It's always a team game. The team is very important. The team has to be always strong. So if you are a chef that is not a team player, and then you don't have a good personality with or don't have good people skills, right, your team will never stay with you for a very long time. Hence, you are always going to be doing so many things by yourself, but at the end of the day, you will never last very long.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I go to Melvin. That's the one question I want to ask is cooking a natural skill or learned skill?
Why out of all the questions you pick this question for me? Why?
I think you are the right person to ask.
Why? Okay, so your question is whether cooking
it's like a gifted, like you draw, right? Yeah. When you draw, you need to have you're gifted, then you can draw well, right? You cannot be trained. So is cooking is like that, or it can be trained, it can be groomed?
Okay, for me, I look at cooking, I call it culinary as a whole, whether it's just fruit carving, whether it's cooking stews, whether it's making rempah, whether whatever okay. I take it as it is a craft. Okay, so as a craft, it's just like art. Some people are not gifted to write very nice words, but some people can just draw scribble lines, and rich people stand there and look at it and like, hey, this connects with me, and then it fetch a very high price. So when it comes to cooking, I think it's also like art. Okay, more importantly, I totally agree with what Enoch said just now, which is the basic of culinary. Once you have that, then you can create your own art, right? Before I was saying that now a lot of young chefs, they like to come out and want to be known for something, want to have their own identity. But how are you going to forge the right identity for yourself? So basically, if you come into the culinary world for 2 years and your family since young, right, you don't have a matriarch, you're not blessed with a matriarch to inspire you, makan, your grandma, your mom, your whoever feed you, that kind of thing. You have to put in the work to put yourself in the industry. Then basically, if you're in the industry for 2 years after graduation, you're a 2-year-old baby, how you know what you want? It's impossible. So at that point, I would say it is a skill. It can never be gifted. You still need to put in some work, right? But very importantly is you must understand that you want to do this. If you don't want to do this, how skilled you are, you won't last. Because after that, ego, pride will all come in, and then you will destroy yourself. Your competitors don't need to do anything. Yeah. So for anybody who the one that asked this question, right? My answer will be very simple. First, put in the work and have a basic. Enjoy the process. You will know whether you have the gift to do it or not. And if you don't, enough practice, you'll be skilled with the right attitude again, you will still be good at it. Yeah, so cooking is actually, to me, back again, I would say it's all about fun, it's all about passion, it's all about the process. Yeah, if you think of it as like a surgeon, if he don't know the importance of saving his patient, how skilled he is, he one day will definitely neglect something and he lose the patient, and that's it. That's the end of the career. That's at the end of the fun, the passion, whatever you want to label it. That's the end. Stop. Right? Because you fear. So if the work is done, the basic is built, your foundation is strong, then explore even more. Be creative, be your own artist. And then after that, you close eye, open eye, 5 years, not only you're skilled, but it's natural to you already when you do it. And you enjoy it. Most importantly is you enjoy it so much, And then when people eat your food like it, you enjoy even more. Then you won't stop. Then your battery keeps on recharging like a hybrid car. Like
This is a very good statement that I would like to forward to my friend who runs a hotel, and he's been forcing the son to be a chef.
Oh.
And
Look at you not smiling. Look at
So
Auntie smiling. Auntie so smiling already. She's like, no.
Yes. So the son is like begging me, like, can you please ask chef, or he can have a word with you, that he has no interest. He's interested in fashion design.
Okay.
And the father has been forcing him because he's running a hotel chain. Then he wants to be want him to be a chef. And then the father thinks everything can be trained. You just put him to the good school, but he has no interest.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that
Is he a queen? If it's convenient for me to ask, is he a queen? Is he like, he is, If he's a queen, then kittens are not meant for queens, huh? It's for rough hands like us, like that, yeah. Because I know a lot of people like that also. Their parents are like second gen hawkers or restaurant owners. But, as the only son or the eldest son, the father will want to give that legacy, to give the son. But the son is, want to be yoga teacher, want to be fashion designer, that kind of road one you cannot force one.
Can't.
Yeah, because like all of us will agree, running a restaurant, even cleaning the toilet detergent, you also must know which brand. Because every drop is money, right? So if you know different suppliers of the detergent or your washer or your oil or your what, you save a lot of money. And when you save money, you see blue at the end of the month, you less stress. When you less stress, you treat your men better. When you treat your men better, they treat your customers better. When they do that, it's a snowball. The energy that your customer walk into your living room, your dining table, or your restaurant, your hotel, everybody feel good, they'll come back again. Full stop. You can serve me salad, I will come back again. Because I feel wanted, I feel taken care of. That's what we spoke about, Adeline, a lot of times about how the food industry has changed. Honestly, everybody has set, thanks to our mentors, they set the bar so high, like Auntie Sue like that, they cook so well, So having good food now, it's like, it's not a plus point anymore. It's like, if the food is not good, right, then you don't bother joining the race list. But on top of that, it's like when you come, oh sayang, how are you? Today you want your coffee again, no sugar, no milk. That kind of thing, clicks,
The personal touch.
Yes. And then to them, that is that kind of healthy drug, You keep on feeding them endorphin, then they keep on coming back.
Yep.
But you love what you do. So on top of, and that just it will ignite a very big fire. And then you don't need to worry. Your restaurant will go. But when, like going back to what we say, if let's say it is not what they feel for, I always say, if you got a square box, you try and squeeze different shape inside. Cannot one. Sooner or later, the container break. Break already then? its purpose is gone. And once its purpose is gone, it's just plastic to me. It's nothing to anybody. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
but
know what?
actually,
Why? Sorry.
you have to tell your friend nowadays kids, it's not like us when we were growing up, like, okay, your parents want you to be this, you study hard, then you work, you don't change your career. I have my daughter who graduated at 21, GPA 4 flat, engineer. Okay, she was 21, okay? She went to work in Australia, 2 years she quit, and I asked her why. Because I'm not doing good to the environment. Then she went to do her master's. She was hired by Ping to be a design golf in Arizona. 2 years, she got 3 patents. Huh? I said, why do you quit? Because I hate Trump. You understand? So now she came back. She was hired by Bank Negara, but she was so smart. Then MIT take her, but she cannot go now because of the COVID, right? But she found her calling. You understand or not, Adeline? You cannot force your children to be what they don't want to be. I have another friend. She's a judge. She wanted the son to be a lawyer. I sent him to England. He came back. He said, Mom, this is your degree. You know what he is now? He's a rapper.
Sorry, what?
He's a rapper.
Rapper?
Yes.
A lawyer that is a rapper. Win. Censorship cannot fight already. He wants to curse, he curse.
Kids, you can't. These days, kids are so different from what we used to be. And
Life is
very
different.
different.
I think less passionate as well. I guess for us, we are so passionate about things we do, right?
No, I don't dare to say.
My other
You
friend
say-
was
you
like,
say good
snowflake
lah, you
kids
say.
now, they're a bit spoiled as well.
Yeah.
Attention span is very short.
Like a
Yeah.
fruit fly. I would say like a fruit fly. The attention span is like a fruit fly.
It's very true. It's very true. The recent one I got was he cut fish for 3 hours. I mean, chef, my cheese push me back to plating or not. Basically, is getting involved in creating the masterpiece. He don't want. He want to just put the frame on top of the masterpiece. He tell me I don't want. 3 hours later, he tell me my hands smelly. Later I need to go watch movie with my girlfriend. My hands smelly. Can you just let me do plating? I say can. I say, why do you buy coffee? Then you put on the table, you can go home already.
And then kalau
funny,
my friend who has restaurant said, you tegur, tomorrow they don't come to work, you know?
Yes.
Yeah, now also a bit difficult lah. That the
Now
manpower.
getting young people to work is a big challenge.
Yeah.
But I think our generation is very different because our generation, like my parents' generation, you see, most people don't want to do their own business. Most of them want to find a stable job. You know, they can,
Correct.
buy a house, they can provide, But I think our generation becomes a generation that is more of like, because of short attention span and wants everything instant gratification and everything with social
Correct,
media, everybody all looking
Yeah.
good. So everybody wants to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You see? So that's why I think the message that we have to bring out is that if you want to be an entrepreneur, then you have to equip yourself to become an entrepreneur. It doesn't come naturally because entrepreneur, you need to fail a lot of times to be able to find out that one success, you see. Everybody looks at all the, Elon Musk and looks at, Mark Zuckerberg and they all think that all these are all like,
The
they don't
future
see-
Elon Musk, exactly.
Yeah. So that's why we have to understand, like just now what I answered is exactly this. If you think that a promising career is being a restaurateur, being a F&B owner, then you have to start to equip yourself from the very beginning. You have to know what you need to get to have to get there, you see. Instead of just thinking that I do the bare minimum and then I don't care about the rest, and then just very naturally, because I know how to cook, everything will be everything will fall into place, because it wouldn't.
They live on the surface right now. Like for example, everywhere they go, instead of going to learn something, they go there to selfie.
Exactly.
You know, this is a whole mentality, right? Yes.
I think it's the process part lah. There's a different way of kind of approaching this situation. Like with them, it's all about the delivery. If we change the delivery, right, I think we can increase the percentage of whether they listen and relate, and then after that, then it's autopilot already. For us last time, for me lah, was the hard grind. Like my chef would shout at me, scold me, make me feel shit about myself, because we were made to be strong at that time to survive the drive and everything. So that method works for us because we don't want to be beaten, we don't want to be on the floor. We feel so shit about ourselves, being lousy, being able to, the last to be picked on the team, this and that. So that we can relate. So that amplified how we learn and how we progress and our hunger. But now I think it's more of like must sayang a bit, just a bit first, the soft approach first. Then after that, feeding with reward lah. That means the sense of achievement. That means small reachable goals lah that you set for them, right? Then when they reach, suddenly they autopilot one. Every day late, then suddenly one day 1 hour earlier. Then you're like, hey, why you come so early? Oh, because at home nothing to do, ma. So I came right, I actually mopped the floor already, I cleaned the table already, I also fold all the butt already. Then you like, so there's also another the good experience that I experienced before. So I mean, I think what we should do now lah with the next generation, instead, okay, first is the basic, putting in the time, understanding that it is a process. Okay. Second, understanding that you need to fail. It's okay to fail, because if you don't fail, you don't know how to learn. You don't know suck it or not, right? So once you suck it before, you don't like the suck it feeling, then you want to feel good by yourself. I give you something to achieve. Reachable goals, ma. So achieve ready is that, hey, you can do it. Then autopilot ready.
But Marvin, another thing I would like to add, sometimes they ask you, so what's like, sometimes you want to grade them like 5/10, right? But they think they are like 9/10. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Auntie Sue, this kind you cannot help one. This kind the brain problem.
Like that, I tell you, my
This one the brain problem. This one not our problem. This one the brain problem. So this kind, right? You cannot, no medicine one. No medicine. You just like you want 8, huh? Okay. Understand you contested.
But you are a 5. I'm sorry, you are a 5. I think you're so mean, like, hey, hello, yeah.
Say you so mean,
Yeah, they said, I said, you are an 8. I'm not going to give you a 5. In fact, I tell you something. There's a friend of my good friend's daughter-in-law. She started a business of ayam percik. Okay? And I have tested the best ayam percik from this little guy. This guy I know, I've been with him for 20 years. And for me, he's the best ayam percik. So when my friend's daughter started, then she sent me the sample. She said, Auntie, can you give a frank opinion? Which I did.
Yeah.
I said, your ayam needs to be boiled with the spices. Then you grill it. Then it will taste better. So she couldn't accept it, Then she put on social media, oh, our ayam is this and that and whatever. So the mother-in-law came to me and said, Azhar, can you just lie and say her ayam is sedap? I said, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. She has to accept it. You know what I mean?
So she actually let you taste and wanted you to post for her to help her business, is it?
To say it's not, I am not going to post it because it's not nice.
Yeah lah. But she wanted you to post for her business
Yeah.
and say it's nice lah.
Even though her mother is my best friend, so the mother-in-law called me and said, can you just lie? I said, I'm not going to lie about food.
Thank you for doing that. You know why not? Because you're saving our industry.
It's
One thing about COVID also, a lot of people say that COVID is so, so unnecessary. Yes, I was there in that group first. After 1 year, right, I feel that COVID is a blessing in disguise. You know why? Because there are a lot of fake people in our industry, right? Because of got money, right? Then they open, buy trends, buy franchises and that. And now with money also cannot. All of them close. So all the small timers that are sincere, that work hard, they already have the foundation. I can adapt because I know every step of the way. Like for your, I'm sorry, but I think for your friend daughter, right? If you take out one spice away from her rempah, she don't know how to do already.
Exactly. And then also after that, tak sedar diri sent me another krabu, which my other friend said, I'm not a good cook, but this tastes like shit. Call me, wanting me.
I love this.
I said to her mother-in-law, I said, if it is not nice, I'm not going to say anything. For me, I don't want to insult people. I won't say it's nice, but I won't say anything. If she does not get a response from me, she knows it's not nice. Message me, call me 20 times a day.
Yeah, I think the right solution would be calling you and ask you, Auntie Sue, why you never post? Is there something wrong? I mean, that is the right approach lah. In our time, I think myself.
And then you want to improve.
We will ask. We want to know why you never respond to me. Why you never post for me? Why?
What can I add? Yes.
Yeah, because we don't like to feel beaten. We have the hunger that we want to be good at what we do. But for her, it's already the mama already like, oh, this is so nice. You're such a good girl. Great job. That kind of thing. So her brain inside already, right? She got 10 Michelin star already for her ayam. What?
I know I tell
Understand
you, it's so disgusting. Oh my god, it's so disgusting. Like, but her mother-in-law is her best friend until now, you know.
But now again, you reconfirm to Adeline that you are the right judge already. You pick the right person to be a judge.
You know, you can
Good
see when they're cooking it from the heart. You know what I mean? Some people they
Yeah.
just have to show off. I cannot. I said, and my husband said, "You are too passionate. You're too crazy." I said, "That's who I am." You know.
That is why you are where you are. Period.
Thank you.
Full stop. No argument, man. You have been you for so many years, and now that is what you're recognized for. Full
So my
stop. People
husband
either
said,
take it or, you know.
My husband said, "You're a black and white person. There must be a gray area." I don't have a gray area in my life. You know, I'm black and white person. Yeah.
Sometimes I feel the kids now, they are not very principle centric, not like the older generation. They are very principle centric, whereby there is the right way to do things, and then you build on it. So the food needs to be nice, then you know the strategy is to post on social media, get a celebrity and that. But they forgot the principle that what I need to do. They only keep
Correct.
other people to do things for me, but they forgot their own job first.
Yes.
They have to settle their own job before even asking other people to do things for them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it is very sad that this principle integrity part for the younger generation is diminishing.
That's why I think if all of us, right, have this principle, this value, right, we actually create a guidance program, right, for all these youth, right, I think they will totally stand out. You get what I'm trying to say? They will definitely have an advantage because why? People will start to, you see, when things are too common, people don't bother. People always want the exclusivity, they want the limited edition, they want the what. And money price is never a problem when it comes to that kind of thing. So if our guys come out to the industry being unique, being limited, then people start listening. And when people start listening, then it's up to us to have the right values to carry it on. And if we sing it, then we'll be what we have been fighting against all this time. Yeah.
Okay, the next question is actually I asked for somebody else.
Sure.
Okay, right now, like what you said, kids are all like they are seeking for recognition very fast.
Yes.
Now. So every time we mention about Chef Melvin, people will put a celebrity chef in front of you.
Yeah.
Right? So
this
is the part. Of course, just now you mentioned that you want for the next phase of your life, you are looking for community work. You are not going to so much on this KOL thing, right?
Yeah.
So, but you actually traveled this journey.
Yeah.
So can you tell me that when did you start this career as a chef, and when did you decide to go under the spotlight? And what are the pros and cons? You feel
of the spotlight,
like being very too famous as a chef? Is this become an obstacle to you, or it becomes a help?
Okay, so we start off like how I got into the industry lah. Okay, so I started very young. I started when I was Sec 2, maybe like 14 years old. So, coming out from the street, I have very good parents. They love me with all their heart. They worked so hard to give me everything that they never had, and I love them to the moon and back till today. I never blame them for not spending time with me, showing me to different childcares, people taking care of me who I don't even know are strangers. I go into their house because they're just busy working. So I grew up being very spoiled. Like I said, I can totally understand how being spoiled is. And I was the worst. I was rotten. So when it comes down to when I was 14 years old, I got into a lot of trouble. I go to school, I get in fights. I don't go to school and this and that. And that's where I think upstairs needed to send me a message and say, Melvin, it's about time you grow up. So that was the first time my family had a very big financial hurdle. We went from super comfortable to like, maybe a week. We might not know if we have food for 5 days time. Yeah. Then 2 weeks after that whole situation, my dad got retrenched because that was the 90s, the financial crisis.
Yes.
My dad was the biggest breadwinner in the whole family. He was generating everything. He had big plans. 2 weeks later, just chopped, gone. So we were in the slums of my life now. And I said, if you're spoiled all the time, and you never fail before, when you fail, right, it's so hard to come up, and I was so lost. So at 14, I got into a lot of trouble and that. And then suddenly I woke up one day and I said, like, this is not the way it's supposed to be. My parents are sad, I see them sad all the time. They're still working so hard to bring the family back up, build the family back up. And what am I doing? I'm doing nothing but causing more hurt, more stress, more problems. So I said, okay, since you go to Ponteng school, don't go to Geylang, don't go and fight, don't go and do stupid things. Go to the restaurant that is next to your school. So I was from Sampet, it's like East Coast, right? So down one bus stop, there's a restaurant called Alfono's. It's an Italian restaurant. So I went there and looked for a job, but I was stupid lah. I was sport, man. I never had to work in my life. So I went there and I just like said I want a job in my school uniform. And he said, obviously you're too young. So I said I don't care. So I just cleaned his windows, cleaned his car park for about 2 weeks with my pocket money. I didn't eat. I just like clean. And after that I cleaned his toilet, which is beside his kitchen. And then after that, finally, he told me like, you this Asian boy are not gonna take no for an answer, is it? Then I said no. So you can either make use of me or I'm just gonna be a burden and irritating you all this time. So that's where I started to got my first job. So like Enoch said, it wasn't really an interest, but it was something familiar to me that I know because my mom was a damn good cook. My grandma who took care of me was a damn good cook. My godmom who took care of me was a damn good cook. So the three matriarchs in my family, right, were damn good cooks. And I just understood that good food makes me feel good and makes me feel happy. Full stop. Right? So I can't cook for myself. And now like I feel so useless. So I wanted to learn how to cook. So that's where it started. Then close eye, open eye, 17 years old, the letter came, I need to be in NS. My papa chef was also diagnosed with cancer and he wanted to give up the restaurant. I was his right hand man at 17. Right? He trusted me to run his restaurant for him and he wanted to go back to Italy. But I couldn't because Singaporean boys, you need to go NS. So I went NS and he sold the business to these two brothers who are thankfully still running it till today. And I'm very happy that my birthplace into the culinary world was there. So after NS, I came out, like every Singaporean boy, if you want to work and you talk, you want people to listen, you need a paper called certification. So the day I gave up my army uniform, I put on my apprentice uniform and I signed up for culinary school. Right? So after culinary school, we need to be in the industry for about a year. So I didn't want to work for nobody. So I partnered my classmate, who's a radio DJ that wanted a culinary cert also. And we started the first private chefing company in Singapore. So we were very low key. We just did a lot of private chefing. And one thing I learned from there was private chefing is amazing. Why? One, you are a walking restaurant. You got no rental. Okay. Two, you can keep on changing recipes. And three, last but not least, this one is the closest to my heart, is I can cook for practically anybody. Okay, let me expand on that idea, okay? If your restaurant is up in the mountains, somebody that is on wheelchair cannot go. Right? Okay. Second of all, if I am diabetic and your restaurant uses sugar, I cannot eat. Okay? If I have kidney dialysis and you use salt, I cannot eat. But private chefing, I can do every single one. That was one thing I learned. And that humbled me down so much. And like I said, it's always about aura. And I totally believe in it also. Like everything happens for a reason. And once we did our private chefing, we got radio interviews, we got magazines, we got this, we got that. And a production house called me and said, Melvin, if you get a show, your own show, what would you want to do? Not that we are promising you anything, but we just want to hear your idea. And me being young, 21 years old, 23, sorry. I blurt out all my passion and everything. And they paid me a miserable $700 for 9 days overseas shoot, starting from 5 a.m. to night 12 midnight. And for me being young, that was amazing. That was like, yes, I get to travel the world. So that was my first show. And that shot me into the limelight. I now, being 35 this year, I would say too far, too fast. Right? In the beginning, it was all Chef Melvin, Chef, your face on the pasta box. It felt like it's good, right? You're like a rock star, right? You go to market, supermarket, everybody see your mother. Wow, hey, your son very clever, you feel good, right? But then you start to lose the human side of things. You start to lose that chef part because everybody starts throwing you products now. Like Auntie Sue, you will understand now. They throw you things and they say like, hey, we'll pay you how much. Just say this is good. You know, I did that a few years. And then I start to feel very sick. I feel very uncomfortable with myself. Then that's where I told myself, maybe stop being a chef so much. Because at the end of the day, I shared this with Adeline and it was really, this is something really close to my heart. As a chef, let's be very honest. If we don't have vegetables, we don't have produce, we don't have anything, and we are starting to eat pills, astronaut food, right? You put inside, drink water, poof, you're full. It gives you the nutrients. Why do they need chefs anymore? What is chef? What is that title anymore? What is masak? What is come back for dinner? What is eat together with the family? That our industry is totally, completely destroyed. That whole culture. And I am super devastated if that day will happen. So what did I do? I said, okay, done with this chefy thing, done with this, yes, of course I'll cook. Yes, of course, take on private, but do live selling or equipment. That's to pay the bill, right? But who am I? I always ask myself, who am I? Every day when I wake up, I say, okay, who am I? And I realized that I am so interested in agriculture. Then I start traveling. I start traveling to Malaysia. I spent 2 years in Malaysia. I went to Cameron Highlands and I met up with this organic farmer. I go back to Taiwan where my auntie stays, since it's a coastal place. So I went fishing with the fishermen, and I start to live back to basic. So I traveled back so many years, right? And I told myself when I first 14 years old, get to cut that first piece of meat, that fish, everything. I didn't realize, how important that one piece of fish was, I never realized because it's right there for me. But then when I went fishing with the fishermen on their boat itself, suddenly when it's your time to rest and then they got a shoal of fish, you have to jump up. You want to brush teeth, you can brush teeth. You want to shit also, you can have your privacy, And then when you come back and you touch, and you reach the dock, and you step your first step, you lie down. Because that's finally the first time, right? It's stable. You don't have to vomit or anything. And that brought so much light into my career, which I feel that's the fun part that people should understand, You want to be a chef? Cool. You want to cook? You want to impress? You want to have your own restaurant? All good. All good. But it's just, I kind of don't feel for it anymore. I feel for making compost. I feel for taking the asparagus and chewing off the ground. That sweetness, that this and that. Yeah. So for me, I think the limelight is good for a period of time. Some people can leave it out a long time. For me, I think it's all about individuality. You enjoy it, of course, you deserve to enjoy it, lah. You must be doing something right, lah, to get it right. So, okay, enjoy it. But at the end of the day, ask yourself what kind of person you want to be, right? I'm still in the limelight, right? I'm still recognized on the street and this and that. There's still brands that call me, but I pick, I pick on what I advocate for, So it must be something that at the end game, my brother Rich had to say, what's the end game? This is something that he taught me. Yeah, so for me, my end game is pretty clear. If I can have a small little farm, a small little homestay where people can see how we grow their stuff, I cook for them. It's like the complete circle lah for me, Like I can take care of them. I can know that they're sleeping well, they're eating well, they understand a bit about agriculture, and at the end of the day, they leave my homestay being happy.
Sleeping well, leave it to me. You make sure they eat well, can you?
Can, bro, anytime. Because like our brother Enoch say, it's not a one-man show, bro. We need a lot of people, bro.
Yes.
Yeah, so that is what I would say lah for the limelight thing. Because at the end of the day, nobody would say no to being or feeling like a rock star. Nobody. Right? And deservingly so, right? You deserve to be loved, you deserve to be looked out upon. But I would say this one thing to end this topic, which is that limelight is not just fun, glitz and glamour, it's also a responsibility. Every step of the way, everything you say, everything you touch, you do, people will amplify it to the max,
Mm,
good or bad, you
mm.
know. So for me, I feel that it is a responsibility lah. Like know and be careful how you affect the next generation lah, you know. Yeah.
Mm.
What is your dream and the ultimate goal from here?
Me from here.
Mm.
I hope there will be more people. I'll meet more people like us. Like I'm very happy that Rich and yourself like got me into this. My plans, I would say short term in the next 5 years, right? I hope COVID can faster jalan and pagi, and then we can. I want to do and I want to be known to be a chef that does only charity stuff. I want to work with all the governments in as many countries as I can to be known to go there, cut costs, save on food wastage, and just give back. Because you see, if I do it in one country all the time, you will expire the interest,
Yep, yep.
you know. And at one point, when you help enough, people will take advantage of you. I
Yep.
will stop right there and then when I feel it. Then we go to another country. So as we bounce through all these government agencies, they will start to understand that we can constantly have this effect, we can constantly help people, but I don't need to commit to you for like, 1 year.
Ever, yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
you get what I'm trying to say? People
Yep,
get
yep.
scared. So back to what I always tell my guys in the kitchen. If you make a dish with me, okay, you contribute 50% and I contribute 50%. If we fail, we still have 50% in us to solve the problem and create another dish. If you ego want to do 100% yourself and you fail, you be tired, no?
Mm,
You feel sad, no? I can't help you, no?
mm.
Right? But if the responsibility is 100 and we share among 5 of us, 20% each, we give effort, we can do 5 times before we drop.
Mm.
You know, so my short-term goal is I want to work with more chefs, I want to work with more passionate people, and last but not least, I really want to bring back the focus on Mother Nature, because we enjoy our vegetables, we enjoy our meat, we enjoy our food, and honestly, dining is leisure. It makes us happy.
Yep.
And it's a healthy happy. It's not like drugs or alcohol or vice or whatever. It's a good happy that we can have non-stop, and everywhere in the world people eat.
I would like to thank Rich for bringing us together as well.
Yeah.
You know? And then
Nice.
yeah, I owe to Simon, Dato Simon, because I think the last week before he passed away, he introduced me to Shia.
Yeah.
But this is good. This is good. At least whatever we do, we'll dedicate the merits to him.